Hi friends, so we're approaching the day of Kippur, Yom Kippur, the day of atonement, of cleansing, of forgiveness, and many other good things. I want to share a few ideas from the Zohar. I do believe those ideas will be new for most of us, and I will put in the description the reference where actually is in the Zohar. I will also say it. So we'll start with Zohar of Emor in the English edition. I think it's volume 16. And let's get straight into it. One of the things that we read about in Yom Kippur, it's the spiritual technology of two scapegoats. So of course, when we read the story, it sounds like very primitive. Taking two goats, one is being sacrificed to a very negative angel, representing, of course, a very negative force named Azazel. And the other goat is being sacrificed as an offering to God, to the Creator. Now, what is the secret of those two goats, two scapegoats? One, again, for the negative force, that's where the energy will go to, and one is directed towards the Creator. What does it mean for us in our lives? In our lives today. And the paragraph is from the Zohar Emor, paragraph 234. It's fascinating what the Zohar is saying here. דאמן דנפיל במצולות ים, לה ישתכח להלמין, בגין דמיין חפין עליהו. So the Zohar basically is talking about the depth of the sea, the depth of the ocean. For whatever fell into the depths of the sea is never found again. So we're talking about, simply as it sounds, yes, different situations that we have in our lives, different fears, different wrong belief systems, different things that basically it can be plaguing us, different addictions, whatever bother you in your life. But it's very, very deep. Like the way that the Zohar puts it, מה דנפל במצולות ים, whatever fell into the depth of the ocean. The depth of the ocean, לה ישתכח להלמין, you can never deal with it. So we're talking about, again, situations in our lives, so mentally, emotionally, things that we stuck with for so many years, and it doesn't look we can find any solution, or how can we get rid of. As I mentioned, it can be fears or whatever you just want to remove from your life, of course, whatever is negative. And then the Zohar continues and is telling us, ותשליך במצולות ים כל חטאותם. Again, it's things that are very much hidden in the depth of the ocean, metaphorically, of course, yes? And then the Zohar is saying something that is very, very amazing, and it happens only in Yom Kippur, the day of atonement. We're not talking about religiosity here. We're talking about a very powerful spiritual magnet. Or in another way, you can think about it as a vacuum cleaner. What the Zohar is saying here, and that will be a more, paragraph 235. The Zohar is saying the following, והוא קבילון והשתאבון בגבה. When we're talking about these two goats, one that is brought as offering to the Creator doesn't need any, steaks from goats, any barbecue kind of things, right? But we're talking about connecting energetically, and specifically the scapegoat that is going to the negative side. What's the real meaning of it? The Zohar is saying something very powerful that happens only in the Day of Atonement, only in Yom Kippur. והשתאבון בגבה. והשתאבון בגבה, it's a spiritual vacuum cleaner that can reach into the depth of the sea, into the depth of the ocean, things that are hidden deep in our soul, deep in our heart, negative things that it doesn't seem like we can uproot those things or just get rid of those things. So think about some ancient trauma that you have in your life, something that we may be carrying from childhood or being a teenager, or even from previous lifetimes. And that vacuum cleaner, וישתאבון בגבה, כל עינון חטאים דישראל, all the iniquities, all the sins, all the, what looks like representing negative things that we might have done in the past, but in a second you will see something much deeper. כל עינון חטאים דישראל שרן לגבה, והוא קבילון וישתאבון בגבה. So this specific scapegoat, we're not talking about an animal, about a physical goat, but we're talking about a certain type of energy, a vacuum cleaner energy. Personally, I hate vacuum cleaners. They make this terrible noise that I just don't like it. But in a spiritual way, energetically, the vacuum cleaner of Yom Kippur is reaching to the depth of whatever it is that it's so hard for us to get rid of, fears, for example, as I mentioned. Kabilon v'ishtavu begeve. That's the energy of Yom Kippur. Now the Zohar gets even deeper when it says inun chata'in, the sins, the iniquities, the negativities for each one of us. What does it really mean? Listen carefully to the next thing that the Zohar is saying. When we talk about ger'ona, chata'a, ger'ona, those things that look like sins or iniquities, yes, it's in the religious language. What is it really about? And the Zohar reveals the secret. Chata'a perusho gera'on. We're not talking about sins against God, or just to say that, I've been negative in the past. The question is, where is it coming from? And the Zohar is telling us the secret. Ger'ona chata'a perusho gera'on. What does it mean? We're talking about gera'on, or in Hebrew, chisaron, and in English, something that we are lacking. Some kind of energetical deficiency in our system, some kind of void, or vacuum, of a lack. So the Zohar is saying, chisaron moshe chisaron. When I don't feel, or I don't have enough positive energy, enough light in my life, and that lack can experience itself in different ways, obviously in our lives, that lack, chisaron moshech chisaron. The lack, the deficiency, the void that I'm experiencing will cause me to create even a greater lack, even a greater deficiency, even greater emptiness. So I must go and get reactive in a negative way. Why? Because I have this deficiency, because I have this lack, because I'm experiencing that kind of emptiness, I'm going to create even more emptiness, more chisaron. So now we see something that is even deeper. That vacuum cleaner, והוא קבילון וישתאבון בגבה. It sucks in like a vacuum cleaner, like a magnet. It's taking all the negativity, but now we understand something even deeper from the Zohar. The source, the root of that negativity, it's the lack, chisaron, the lack, the deficiency, the emptiness that I feel inside that causing me to create even greater emptiness. So all those things that fell into the depth of the ocean, metzulot yam, that it's very hard to extract, to get rid of this feeling of emptiness, of lack, of deficiency. In Yom Kippur, the spiritual technology of the scapegoat, we're not talking about sacrificing things, yes, in the sense of, sacrificing animals, but it operates as a magnet, as a vacuum cleaner. והוא קבילון וישתאבון בגבה. That spiritual vacuum cleaner in Yom Kippur sucks in, takes away from the depth of our own private, individual lack, deficiency, emptiness, etc. It basically takes that lack out of our lives, replacing it with energy, so I don't have to behave, to act upon that lack and emptiness that lies within the depth of the sea or ocean of my own soul. Now, what it's being replaced with, I will tell you in a second. It's being replaced with, and that will be in the Zohar of Achrey Mot, it's being replaced with tremendous amount of love. Now we're talking about cosmic love, everlasting love, and that will be the Zohar of Achrey Mot, Kuf Tet Vav, Migo Rechimuta Yatira Derachim Lehu. God, the creator, the light force, however you want to call it, of course representing also endless love. The way that the Zohar relates to it, Umigo Rechimuta Yatira, it's extra love. The love of the creator, yes, not limited love that we might have in our lives, but we're talking about endless. Rechimuta Yatira, it's excessive love, endless love, extra love in a way that we cannot even express it, that comes to us in Yom Kippur, uprooting all the negativity, the fears, the trauma, the lack, the deficiency that we feel in our lives. But Yom Kippur helps us not just to act upon it, as I mentioned before, as the Zohar is saying, Chisaron Moshe Chisaron. Lack will attract even a greater lack, a greater emptiness, a greater void, and then, we won't feel fulfilled and satisfied. In Yom Kippur, the vacuum cleaner takes it out of the depth of the sea, where these things are hiding, and replacing it with extra love. The last thing I want to share with you, that the Zohar is saying in the portion of Vayera, in paragraph 385, not only that lack is being replaced with the endless love of the Creator, which is of course representing deep sense of fulfillment, of satisfaction, but the Zohar is saying, וכדין התהפך סנגוריה ביום הכיפורים, in the day of atonement, the day of forgiveness, the day of, now we understand it's a day of completion. בא לעיניך ולמעבד לעיניך דרוכה, וכדין התהפך סנגוריה. If we merit to connect to the actual energy of the 10th day of Libra, of Yom Kippur, that negative energy that we try to remove or to disconnect or even to make it disappear, we try to do it in Rosh Hashanah. In Yom Kippur, the trick is a little bit different. The same negative force of void, of emptiness, of lack, of deficiency, of negativity, of anything chaotic and painful that can come into our lives, kedin itapach sanogoria, it transforms into a positive force. I will put in the description the places in the Zohar where I basically brought those ideas from. And that's it. Have a great Yom Kippur. Share this video with others that want to know about Yom Kippur. Subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can get notifications, and I'll see you soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.